if you don't take enough time off, you're gonna burn out. Your business is gonna go under eventually because you're just working every day, working yourself to death. In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to take a vacation. I'm gonna give you ways that you, even as a small host, can go spend 3, 5, 12, 14 days away from your Airbnb business so you can recharge and enjoy your life, because of course, the reason why we're doing this is for the freedom, right? Yeah, of course, I have 100 properties, I'm on vacation for a month, and I've got teams that run everything. So I could teach you at a high level how to do this, but it's actually pretty simple when you're still small. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a few ways that you can make your business vacation ready, and you can leverage some tools Airbnb gives you for free to make your vacations happen. Let's jump in. Welcome back, Airbnb family. So there was a group thread on one of the Facebook groups. I think it was one of the Airbnb host Facebook groups that I'm in. And one guy was lamenting about the fact that he can't take a day off. He can't find anybody to help him run his business. Hosts don't want to cooperate, like all this different stuff. And we had a big, long conversation about this in the group thread. And I decided it was worth a video and worth expanding on even more than normal. Now, you may have seen a previous video where I talk about not burning out, and I give you guys one of the hacks that you can use to take a vacation in that video. And in case you haven't seen that video, that hack specifically is to team up with local hosts and to create an economy back and forth where you will give some of your time to be on call for other hosts, certain few nights a week as a co-host, so those people can take their time off and you're working shifts. So now you guys are trading 2, 3, 4 days a week. And if you do this as a group, like where there's 3 hosts involved, you guys can all come together, make sure all of you are able to cover for each other whenever you guys need time off. And that means if an emergency happens, you need to leave for a funeral, you want to go to a wedding, you can just tag one of your host friends who's already co-hosting for you, and they can cover for you while you're away. And that's if you have local hosts. Now, if there aren't really any local hosts willing to help, you could still find a remote host who's willing to do free trade for customer service, and that handles all the remote stuff. And surprisingly, a lot of this is remote. The only thing you're really missing is a good, effective housekeeping team that you can trust, that has communication with you and your co-hosts in order to run the operations day to day. So let's actually dive into that section, and let me give you some other cool tools and tricks that you can use to get your vacations going. But like the video, let me remind you now to like the video and subscribe if you're new. If you're a host, you should be subscribed to this channel. We talk about some serious stuff. So I want to jump into the housekeeping part to finish this equation. So let's say that you're a host in a rural area where there's not really anybody local. Well, you should hire a by-the-hour in-house housekeeper that you can train, and that they're primarily dedicated to your business. And that way you can kind of modify how they do their job. They'll do laundry days for you if you need to have laundry days done. They'll do all the extra turnover and all the extra double checking of your space that a normal housekeeping company won't do. And after you have a relationship with a housekeeping team, hopefully 1, 2, 3 housekeepers that you have, you can promote one to a lead supervisory role to protect the quality while you're away. So even if you have a remote host, as long as that remote host who's helping you for free, or if you pay each other, that's cool too, and you're both in communication with your housekeeping team, use something like GroupMe, where you're all in a group chat account where housekeepers hey, guest isn't checking out right now, what can we do? Or hey, we're out of supplies for X, Y, or Z. Do I have permission to go buy new supplies? Stuff like that, and just upload a photocopy of the receipt to GroupMe. These are the types of things that you can do while you're away, and that host can supervise that housekeeper while you're gone. So you need a host you can trust to know what to tell the housekeeper to do and how to keep that housekeeper, even though that housekeeper's been promoted as a supervisor, how to keep that person in check. And that's how you handle that. Now, let's say you're afraid of that. That's okay, all right? Because it's your first time running a business, you haven't taken vacation time. I was the same way. When I first started my company, 2010, a different company in 2010, I didn't take a day off for 4 years. It was pretty wild, and I finally started to pull myself away from my business to have some free time, and I'm so glad I started doing so, because it's made me a better manager, a better leader. But let's say you're afraid and you're not there yet. You're not ready to take that journey. No judgment. Here's something else you can do. Now, this is one of only 2 times that I ever plan on mentioning this in any video. Everything else that I talk about, rule sets, which we're about to talk about, is discussed in my course. And I don't get deep into rule sets on the YouTube channel because I feel like I've got really cool rule sets and really cool ways to use them, and I want to save that for my students. But I am going to give you a rule set right now that you can use to make vacations more possible. So What is a rule set first off? Well, a rule set is something you have to have Pro Tools, and to get Pro Tools you need to have at least a few listings. This means you can take a whole home and then also have private rooms in the home. So if you have one 3-bedroom house, you can have 4 total units, each 3 private bedrooms in one whole home. Those 4 units should allow you to have Pro Tools. Just go to airbnb.com/multi-calendar and it will force load your Pro Tools. Once you have Pro Tools, your multi-calendar will show you your calendar in a unique way now. You're gonna have rows of availability where all of your listings are stacked on top of each other. Well, from there, what you're going to do is you're gonna select a few dates, select Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just highlight a few dates. Now on the right side, what will pop up is your ability to change prices and make the dates available or not. But below that, you're gonna see a little scroll wheel area that talks about rule sets, add a new rule set. So what you can do is you can go into that and add a new rule set. What you can do is you can change minimum length of stay, whether or not people can check in or check out on certain days, prices, discounts, all of it can get done. So in your case, what you're going to do is you're going to take the chunk of days that you're going to be on vacation and you're going to make those minimum length of stays. So as long as you know your vacation's 6 weeks from now, you should be fine. So if you're taking 4-day vacation, you make it so everybody has to check in at least a day before you leave. And you make it so that way nobody can, all the stays have to stay through your vacation or until the day before your vacation ends, something like that, or the day your vacation ends. And that way all the stays for your portfolio are long enough that there actually is no check-ins and check-outs during your vacation. And that's another way that you can make it happen too. And third, my favorite way to take a vacation is you can build your business, get bigger, and own it all, scale it. Now, in order to do this, you need to have a property manager. And I tell people about 15 doors is when you want to have a property manager. That property manager eventually will need their own assistant or customer service staff so that they can take time off too. And so if you build this to the point where your property manager has the safety nets that they need, that they can take days off, you certainly can take vacations because that person is already safely taking time off. Why not you? And that's if you're super scared. Just keep building until you can make it happen. But for those of you with 1 or 2 homes, use rule sets to change how long guests can stay and when they can and cannot check out, only for select dates during your vacation. And that'll lower your risk of issues because you don't have to worry about a housekeeper screwing up or somebody showing up and having a problem. Those are going away. But if you do want to have check-ins and check-outs during an extremely long trip, then what you can do is you can recruit a host to help and then promote a local housekeeper to be a supervisory role, and now you've got a 3-tier level of worker, supervisor, manager, and that ecosystem should be enough to allow somebody to run it for you while you're gone. You do have to give someone the power of the pocketbook to buy things if needed, and you'll have to give them all the emergency line stuff, like if your washer or dryer breaks, who to call for the warranty, things like that, and that should do it. Take this with a grain of salt too, because even though I'm on vacation for a month right now in Mexico, I'm still doing things with my Airbnb business. I'm still available by phone. I'm still negotiating new deals right now. I had to get insurance for a 3-property, 30 or 40 apartment deal that we're trying to get done, and we're getting keys today. And there's a delay in getting insurance. I had to do it myself, unfortunately. So there's no guarantee that you can shut off entirely, but if you delegate enough of your business, you can take so much time off that your time off doesn't need to be completely off. You can just have super mega relaxed time. If you could spend 6 months a year barely working, isn't that the same as taking a month or 2 long vacation? Work remote 6 months, you're just slightly needed by computer or email. That's a life right there. You can get there, and it starts with trusting other people to run your business for you, a proper delegation, and in this case, calendar management. So enjoy the video. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. And of course, as always, I'll see you on the other side.